What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants or Us. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Alright, so as many of y'all know, the Star Wars sequel trilogy wasn't exactly a beacon of success. It struggled in a lot of its storytelling elements. It struggled in its ability to make interesting characters, to really kind of get the point of what they're trying to say across. It had a bunch of dead ends when it comes to side plots. It was just a mess. It was just a mess from beginning to end. Those three movies are very forgettable. I don't think really any of them are redeemable in any form or fashion. Every one of them is, I would say The Force Awakens is just a redo of A New Hope. I mean, it is garbage writing 101. It's what you would teach if you were trying to tell someone what it takes to have a bad movie. You would show that movie. And unfortunately, I think I'm being pretty fair when I say that, and I think I speak for a lot of Star Wars fans when I actually say that as well, because I think a lot of us have come to the conclusion that those movies were just horrible. They did not. We had to have reading material to make these movies even plausible to even a certain extent. And I kind of feel like this Screen Rant article, Star Wars, everything you need to read, everything you need to read to fully understand Rise of Skywalker. That tells you everything that is wrong with the movie. When you hear the word Star Wars, everything you need to read to fully understand Rise of Skywalker. You shouldn't have to read anything. You should just be able to watch a movie and be able to understand it. But anyways, let's just go into some of the little details that that really kind of dictate everything that's wrong with Disney Star Wars. It says the initial wave of tie-ins were surprisingly irrelevant to the main story. And in fact, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker contradicted its own setup. It clashes particularly badly with Rebecca Roanhorse's excellent novel Resistance Reborn, which showed how the Resistance regrouped after the Battle of Crate. Unfortunately, this isn't an isolated example, as Poe Dameron's new backstory directly contradicted previously published comics as well. So, basically what this is saying here is even they couldn't even get the tie-in material right. They tell us that, it's one thing if you're going to tell us to understand our movie, you're going to have to read these novels, or you're going to have to read these comics, and you're going to have to understand those before you can understand our work of art that is this movie. That's bad in itself, but then when you don't even get the tie-in material correct, that just, how piss poor is that? We're not talking about some kind of, some studio that, is just coming into existence and kind of, doesn't have a really good track record. We're talking about Disney here. We're talking about Disney. The one that for the last 50 years has made some really amazing movies. Most iconic characters in television history. But you're telling me that they cannot even make a sensible Star Wars movie without having tie-in information, and then they don't even get that right. Now that is just, that's the kind of stuff that'll just make you want to pull your hair out. That's the kind of stuff that angers me about Disney Star Wars. Am I a little bit better with Disney Star Wars than what I was? Yes, I am. Season 2 of The Mandalorian was amazing. I feel like they're on the right track, but at the same time, there was some parts of The Mandalorian that still bothered me. It seemed like, especially the last couple episodes, seemed like they were tie-ins to future Disney projects. take Ahsoka Tano, take the Ranger one that's coming out. A Cara Dune. You had like all these little instances in there that they were kind of giving hints that there's going to be all these different shows. It almost kind of seemed like a promo at times for shows that weren't already out or weren't even in production yet. And that I remember when I was doing the episode reviews for The Mandalorian, that was the one biggest knock I had on the whole series. Was I kind of felt like while this series is trying to sell me on The Mandalorian, it's also trying to sell me on other projects that aren't even in filming yet. So overall, it kind of upset me because I'm like, you know what? If you want to make a good product, you focus on that product. You focus on that product, and then you let those other products fall where they may. But don't come to me and try to put in all these little Easter eggs for future works, for things. You have one shot, Disney, to actually make a good story for Star Wars. I think if The Mandalorian failed, you would lose probably a considerable amount of your fan base when it comes to Star Wars. I don't know if you could sell any of these other series if The Mandalorian failed. So, you have one shot with The Mandalorian to get it right. Don't focus on anything outside of The Mandalorian in The Mandalorian. That is my view of this. Unfortunately, I don't feel like Disney just still quite gets it. I feel like they're getting it just a little bit. But I feel like there's still this outer thing that they're like, we've got to make our money back. We've got to push more stuff. I feel like they're just vomiting Star Wars TV series out there right now, and they're just hoping that it'll stick on someone. That's basically the way I'm feeling towards it. Do I believe all of them are going to be successes? Mm-mm. That one that is about the Rogue One, I don't see that one. The guy off Rogue One, I don't see that movie going anywhere. I mean that series. I don't see that going anywhere. I don't see a Lando Calrissian series going anywhere. I don't think there's enough interest in those. I think about the only two that really is going to make it is the Ahsoka Tano series and the Obi-Wan series. And it's only because those are familiar faces. And those are actually popular fan favorites. I don't really necessarily think that all of these movies or all these series are going to work. I'm hoping in the future that they will just retcon the sequel trilogy, because I'm not going to read encyclopedia of books to be able to understand the Last Jedi. It's just not happening, guys. And if you want to do that, all power to you. But I'm not. I want, to me, there's different forms and different visual forms. I would not want to read a book that has, that I would have to see a movie to understand it. The book should be clear enough that I should be able to picture that in my mind, those characters, those settings, that that I wouldn't need an outside visual representation of it from a movie to be able to see it how I see it in my mind. Those are lousy books. Just like it's the other way around, those are terrible movies when you have to have reading material to make that make sense. I don't know why there's not someone in Disney. I don't know why Kathleen Kennedy. It doesn't cross her mind that just looks bad. It sounds bad. It sounds like you are trying to constantly make bad movies make sense. Sometimes you just gotta own it. That's the way I feel towards it. Just own it, Disney. Tell us point blank, these movies are terrible. we're just going to retcon them. We're going to get rid of them. And then we're going to go from there. We're going to try to work with something like The Mandalorian, the Ahsoka Tano series, the Obi-Wan series, and all these other little series that are out there. We're going to see what sticks, and we'll try to make good movies from now on, maybe out of one of those series, or maybe out of the Old Republic, or something along those lines that would entertain fans. But don't just keep kicking a dead horse. Realize the sequel trilogy did not work. Don't keep following down that path. Just don't. Just ignore it. Get rid of it. Reboot it. Whatever you have to do, just do that, and let's go forward from there. It's my view of it. Kind of pissed off a little bit when I read that about even the source material that they're trying to get for The Last Jedi didn't even contradicted its own self. That's just poor. That's just terrible. Terrible, Disney. Should be ashamed of yourself. Take care, guys.